Every day offers you a doorway. Most people rush past it, unaware that the smallest thoughts they repeat become the architecture of their entire destiny. But you are not most people. You are someone who knows that 9 simple lines, spoken with conviction, can shift the vibration of your entire being. So as you hear these words, let them sink into you, let them echo in your mind, let them awaken the power you carry but often forget. The first line reveals itself like a sunrise. I am becoming better every day in every way. Your life expands exactly where your attention rests. When you affirm your growth, your mind responds by seeking the paths that make it real. You begin noticing opportunities that were always there, but hidden behind layers of self-doubt. You start acting with quiet confidence, not forced, not strained, but natural, because improvement becomes the atmosphere you breathe. The second line rises within you. My mind is my greatest tool, and I choose thoughts that build me. You are not here to be controlled by fear or old memories, pretending they are still relevant. You are here to command your mental world. And when you choose thoughts that strengthen you, your inner world becomes a place of clarity rather than chaos. You start responding instead of reacting. You start directing instead of drifting. You start creating instead of complaining. Then comes the third line, gentle yet powerful. I attract experiences that match my highest self. This is not a metaphor, it is law. Your inner state broadcasts, and life mirrors back that frequency. When you elevate your inner dialogue, your outer world reshapes itself. People treat you differently. Ideas come to you with a strange sense of timing. Doors open that once felt locked. Because you are no longer asking life for permission. You are aligning with who you were always capable of becoming. The fourth line anchors you. I trust the timing of my journey. There is a rhythm to your life that only becomes clear when you stop comparing and begin listening. Trusting the timing dissolves the tension in your chest. It silences the internal race that leads nowhere. It allows you to grow at the pace that is right for you, not the pace that pressures you. And in that trust, you find peace. Yet in that peace, you also find your power. The fifth line fuels you. I am disciplined, focused, and committed to my vision. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from the randomness of moods. It frees you from waiting to feel motivated. It frees you from the trap of inconsistency. When you commit to your vision with focus, you move from wishing to manifesting, from hoping to creating, from dreaming to achieving. Every step, even the smallest one, becomes proof of who you are becoming. The sixth line strengthens your spirit. I release all doubt and walk with certainty. Doubt weakens, certainty energizes. Doubt drains, certainty builds. Doubt closes doors, certainty walks through them before they even open. When you carry certainty, not arrogance, not ego, but quiet inner knowing, you become magnetic. You stop shrinking to fit old versions of yourself. You stand taller, think sharper, act bolder, and life responds accordingly. The seventh line offers renewal. I forgive my past and free myself to rise. Forgiveness is not for the past, it is for the future. You cannot climb if you are holding the weight of yesterday. Letting go is not giving up, it is stepping forward. When you release old mistakes, old judgments, old pain, you create space for who you are meant to be. You lighten your spirit. You sharpen your focus. You open your hands to receive what is next. The eighth line energizes your soul. I am worthy of success, happiness, and greatness. Worthiness is the foundation of transformation. Without it, you reject the very blessings you ask for. But when you claim your worth, you begin living differently. You make choices that honor your goals. You stop settling for half efforts, half love, half living. You accept the fullness of life because you finally understand you were never meant to live in fragments. And then the ninth line, the one that awakens everything within you. I am becoming the best version of myself, and nothing can stop my evolution. These words are not wishful thinking, they are a declaration. A declaration that you are no longer defined by your fears, your past, or your limitations. A declaration that you are growing, rising, expanding. A declaration that your transformation is non-negotiable, steady, unstoppable. When you repeat this line daily, you condition your mind to hold the identity of your highest self. And identity always dictates destiny. Repeat these 9 lines not as empty phrases, but as the truth you choose every day. Speak them in the morning to set your tone. Speak them at night to shape your dreams. Speak them whenever doubt returns. Because these lines are more than sentences. They are keys. Keys to unlock your mind. Keys to unlock your potential. Keys to unlock the version of you that is waiting to be lived. And as you rise with these lines, shaping your thoughts, your habits, your actions, you will notice something extraordinary. You are no longer chasing the best version of yourself. You are becoming it every single day. Because impatience is the silent thief of your power. When you release the urge to rush, something extraordinary happens, clarity arrives. You begin to understand that every delay carried a lesson, every pause held a preparation, every setback contained a refinement. Life has never been late for you. It has only been aligning the unseen pieces so that when your moment arrives, you step into it with the maturity, awareness, and strength needed to keep it. Trusting your timing turns frustration into faith and pressure into peace. The 5th line whispers to your spirit, I am worthy of the life I desire. Worthiness is not something you earn, it is something you remember. Many people live in the shadow of their own brilliance because they believe their dreams belong to someone stronger, smarter, luckier, or more deserving. But the truth is, simple desire itself is a sign of possibility. You cannot long for what is impossible for you. Your deepest desires are not fantasies. They are previews of who you are meant to become. When you repeat that line daily, you erase the invisible ceiling you placed above yourself. You walk differently. You speak differently. You expect differently. And the world responds to your new self-concept with opportunities that match your new identity. The 6th line arrives like a cleansing wind. I release what no longer serves me. Nothing weighs more than the habits, people, and beliefs you've outgrown. You were never meant to stay the same. Growth requires shedding old fears, old stories, old versions of yourself that kept you small. When you speak this line daily, you give yourself permission to let go of everything that drains you instead of strengthens you. You no longer carry what you cannot cure. You no longer hold on to what hurts in the name of loyalty. You no longer return to what breaks you because of comfort. You create room for new ideas, new connections, new beginnings. And the moment you create space, life fills it with what aligns with your evolution. The 7th line glows like fire within your chest. I am disciplined, consistent, and unstoppable. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from the prison of procrastination. It frees you from the gravity of old habits. It frees you from the fluctuations of motivation. Consistency is the silent engine behind every person who transformed their life. And when you declare yourself unstoppable, you are not saying you will never face obstacles. You are saying obstacles will not decide your fate. Every repetition of this line strengthens your inner backbone. You become someone who does what they said they would do. You become someone who moves with purpose instead of excuses. You become someone who follows through long after the emotion has faded. The eighth line rises softly. I am grateful for who I am and excited for who I am becoming. Gratitude grounds you in abundance. Excitement pulls you toward your future. Together, they become the perfect balance of presence and progression. When you are grateful, you activate a receiving energy. You start noticing blessings instead of burdens. Gratitude turns the ordinary extraordinary. But when you are excited for who you are becoming, you ignite momentum. You stop waiting for motivation and start generating it. You see your future self not as a fantasy, but as an inevitability. Every small action becomes a step toward that version of you. Every day becomes meaningful instead of monotonous. And then comes the ninth line, the line that ties all the others together in one vibrating truth. I am the creator of my reality, not a passenger, not an observer, a creator. You shape your world through thought, emotion, assumption, and action. When you speak this line, you reclaim the authorship of your life. You stop blaming circumstances for where you stand. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop giving temporary events permanent power. You realize that everything you seek is shaped from within first. Identity before achievement, belief before evidence, imagination before manifestation. And when you begin speaking to yourself as a creator rather than a victim, life rearranges itself in ways that almost feel supernatural. These 9 lines are not just affirmations, they are invitations. An invitation to step into mastery rather than survival, growth rather than stagnation, intention rather than autopilot. And as you repeat them daily, something subtle but powerful begins to shift. You carry yourself differently. Your energy changes before your circumstances do. People sense something new about you, even if they can't explain it. Your inner world becomes orderly, and your outer world begins to follow. Every day you speak these lines, you are planting seeds. Some will sprout immediately. Some will take time. But with persistence, they will bloom. You will begin to notice calmness in situations where you once felt overwhelmed. You will notice strength in places where you used to feel weak. You will notice choices where you once felt trapped, because you are training your mind to think in alignment with your highest potential. There will be mornings when repeating these lines feels effortless, almost electric. And there will be mornings when you don't feel like saying them at all. Those are the most important mornings, because transformation does not happen when it's convenient. It happens when you maintain the energy, even when your emotions tell you otherwise. Every time you repeat these lines despite resistance, you break another layer of limitation that has been holding you back for years. Imagine waking up with the awareness that each line is shaping the blueprint of your future. Imagine the quiet power that builds when you choose intentional thoughts over habitual ones. Imagine how your life begins to change when you consistently align with these truths. You begin to see the difference between who you were and who you are becoming. You feel more anchored, more decisive, more aware of your potential. You begin acting like someone who expects good things rather than hoping for them. You walk into each day with a sense of direction instead of drifting through it. You start noticing how your language changes. How you speak about yourself becomes gentler, stronger, clearer. How you speak about challenges becomes more empowered. How you speak about your dreams becomes more committed. You stop convincing yourself you are stuck. You stop entertaining thoughts that shrink your spirit. You stop replaying the past as if it deserves a future. And as your inner world shifts, your outer life transforms naturally. Not through force, but through alignment. You attract environments that reflect your growth. You attract people who elevate your energy instead of draining it. You attract opportunities that match your rising self-worth. And the things that once triggered you, controlled you, or intimidated you begin to lose their power. There is something extraordinary about the human mind. It reshapes itself based on what you repeat. Every line you speak becomes a signal, a direction, a command. Your subconscious listens, absorbs, and obeys. It begins reorganizing your habits, your perceptions, your reactions. It tunes your intuition. It strengthens your emotional resilience. It sharpens your focus. It builds your identity brick by brick. These 9 lines become the foundation of a life lived with intention. They help you break the unconscious patterns that once held you back. They help you shift from survival mode into creation mode. They help you become someone who does not simply hope for transformation, but embodies it daily. And as you continue repeating them, you begin to realize a profound truth. You were never waiting for life to change. You were waiting for yourself to change. Because once you shift internally, your external world has no choice but to follow. You begin waking up with gratitude rather than complaint, with direction rather than confusion, with energy rather than exhaustion. You begin embracing challenges instead of fearing them, seeing them as stepping stones rather than obstacles. You begin trusting your path, even when you cannot see the entire road. The 7th line rises within you like a steady flame in a dark room. I am disciplined, focused, and committed to my growth. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is devotion. It is the quiet agreement you make with your future self that you will not abandon them. When you repeat this line daily, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop allowing temporary emotions to sabotage long-term transformation. Discipline becomes your compass, guiding you through distraction, doubt, and delay. You begin to move with intention, unbothered by the noise around you, because your purpose becomes louder than your comfort. Focus sharpens your energy, and commitment seals your direction. The more you affirm these words, the more naturally they become your behavior. You are not forcing yourself into alignment. You are remembering that you were born capable of extraordinary consistency. The 8th line settles into your chest with quiet certainty. I am surrounded by limitless opportunities and possibilities. Life is not limited, but your perception can be. When you tell yourself daily that the world is filled with open doors, your mind begins to search for them. You stop shrinking into corners of fear and step into the spaciousness of potential. You start seeing chances where others see challenges. You recognize pathways where others see problems. You transform obstacles into openings because your inner world has learned to expect abundance, not scarcity. Opportunities are not rare, awareness is. And this line increases your awareness until it becomes impossible for you to miss the blessings, the connections, the timing, and the synchronicities that were always meant for you. You begin to walk through your days with an inner knowing that something good could happen at any moment. And that belief alone increases the frequency with which it does. Then comes the 9th line, the one that ties all the others together. I am becoming the best version of myself, one choice at a time. Not one day at a time, but one choice. Because transformation is not a single moment. It is a continuous unfolding of tiny decisions that shape a massive destiny. When you repeat this line daily, you remind yourself that progress is not a leap, it is a series of intentional footsteps. You stop chasing perfection and instead embrace consistency. You stop measuring how far you must go and start celebrating how far you have come. You realize that each choice, what you think, what you say, what you do, what you tolerate, what you release, becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. And with each vote, your identity strengthens. With each decision, your future clarifies. With each moment, you rise. Let these 9 lines carve themselves into your mind. Let them become the background music of your morning, the whisper in your quiet moments, the anchor of your days. Because the words you feed your mind shape the world you walk through. Say them when you feel strong. They will amplify you. Say them when you feel weak. They will hold you. Say them when you feel lost. They will guide you back to yourself. Repetition is not just habit. It is recreation. You recreate your identity each time you choose a thought. And the more you repeat these lines, the deeper their roots grow within you. Imagine waking each morning with an inner steadiness that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Imagine moving through your day with a calm sense of purpose, knowing you can redirect your energy with a single thought. Imagine making choices aligned with your higher self rather than your fears. Imagine becoming someone whose presence speaks louder than their words, whose confidence is quiet but undeniable, whose sense of direction is felt before it is explained. These 9 lines are not magic, but they unlock the magic already within you. They tune your mind to a frequency where clarity becomes natural, strength becomes constant, and alignment becomes effortless. As you continue to repeat them, you begin noticing subtle shifts. You catch yourself speaking with more intention. You remove yourself from conversations that drain your energy. You walk away from patterns that once held you hostage. You stand taller, breathe deeper, think clearer. The world around you begins to mirror your inner transformation. The right people gravitate toward you. The right ideas find you. The right opportunities unfold gently, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically. Not because life suddenly changed, but because you did. You elevated the way you speak to yourself, and life rose to meet your new standard. There will be days when you feel off course, when old patterns whisper their familiar temptations, when the path seems blurry. That is not failure. It is part of the process. Every evolution comes with echoes of the past, testing whether you are ready to release or return. But you are not who you were. These 9 lines strengthen the part of you that knows how to rise. They remind you that growth is not linear, it is layered. Some days you leap, some days you step, some days you simply breathe. But all of it counts. Every second of awareness pushes you further than you realize. You begin to realize that becoming the best version of yourself is not about comparison. It is not about outshining others. It is not about appearing flawless. It is an inward journey, a deep remembering of the strength, wisdom, and power you already carry. It is the process of awakening parts of you that were dormant. It is the art of becoming whole, integrated, aligned. The best version of you is not a distant ideal. It is the truest expression of who you already are beneath fear, doubt, and insecurity. And as you repeat these lines daily, you start treating yourself differently. You set boundaries without guilt because you know your energy is sacred. You forgive yourself faster because you recognize that holding on to self-blame only anchors you to the past. You celebrate your small wins because you finally understand that each win matters. You speak kindly to yourself because you realize you cannot grow in soil poisoned by your own criticism. You take leaps you once avoided because courage becomes your default state. Your presence begins to shift. People notice the light in your eyes, the calm in your voice, the strength in your steps. They may not understand what changed, but you do. You fed your mind with truth. You rewrote the script of your life. You chose thoughts that aligned with your potential instead of your history. You planted seeds of greatness in the garden of your mind, and those seeds bloomed into confidence, clarity, discipline, and self-belief. These 9 lines are simple, but simplicity is powerful when practiced consistently. They are not meant to be recited mechanically. They are meant to be absorbed emotionally. Speak them as if you are speaking to the future you who already lives the life you dream of. Speak them as if every word reshapes your being. Speak them as if they are sacred commands to your spirit, because they are. And as you carry these 9 lines into your days, let them do more than sit on your tongue. Let them become the quiet architecture of your becoming. Because the truth is simple. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are becoming one. Every thought you elevate reshapes your path. Every belief you choose strengthens your future. Every small, unseen act of discipline pulls you closer to the life you once thought was distant. You are not defined by who you were yesterday. You are defined by who you decide to be right now. Let these lines be your morning ignition and your nightly reminder that greatness is not accidental and growth is not reserved for the chosen few. It belongs to the ones who choose themselves. So choose yourself today. Choose your power. Choose your becoming. And watch how the world rearranges itself around the unstoppable, undeniable version of you that has finally awakened.